Girl, me fi I love you. Hey, girl, say good, say good. Bonita, senorita, follow the papi. Anywhere me go, y'all fi ya follow the jacket. Flip it a catala kind when you're on top of me. From you tell your friend and them a pissed off on me. Yeah, love girl we full of quality. Ready fi make you sweat like the insanity. Scream for me, clear clarity. Make we love on the ground, sheer gravity. Hey, girl, me fi I love you. Girl, me fi I touch right now. Girl, me fi I love you.
Happy Hump Day! Happy Wednesday! Welcome to Community Voices, where like-minded people come together to share common goals and interests. I am your girl Momo Love, and over there is DJ Firebone 592 Sound. Yes. We are in week 2 of the quarantine. How is everybody feeling out there? I hope you are feeling nice and fine. Listen, make sure you download the free Ablazin Radio Pro app. It is for iPhone and Android users, and you can also log on to the website. Guys, I cannot hear myself, so if I'm screaming, y'all let me know on the Facebook Live. We are live. Yes, we are live on Ablazin Radio, providing you some COVID-19 relief, okay? We know that you guys are going through some things, and, we just thought we would provide a few updates and come on here and share some love as well. The virus is thought to spread from person to person, and let me go ahead. The virus is thought to spread from person to person who are within 6 feet of each other. The droplets that may come out of your mouth or nose that you can't see is, when you cough or you sneeze, is which can land on somebody else and possibly, they would inhale that in their lungs. Of course, you guys know what the steps are to protect yourself. Make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds or 40 seconds. Sing the happy birthday song twice. All right, hot water and any kind of soap, as long as you lather it up real good and get it all between your fingers and everything. Definitely use hand sanitizer. I know there's a lot of places where hand sanitizer is not available. If it is, make sure it has 60% alcohol or more. And you can also make some do-it-yourself homegrown vaporizer, homegrown sanitizer, okay? Some water, some Clorox, put some little essential oil in there, and you have your own little spray bottle that you can carry around with you. Let me tell you, I have a handy dandy one in my bag, in my car, so I'm ready at all times, all right? Make sure you don't touch your face. That's very essential. It's very important because you're touching countertops and surfaces, and you touch your face without even realizing it, and there you go. The social distancing, I'm telling you guys, is so hurtful because you feel like you can't talk to people because of the droplets that may or may not be in the air, but it helps reduce any spread that we may or may not know of, and that's the important thing. So, stay your social distance 3 to 6 feet away, as advised by the CDC, as well as the World Health Organization. And definitely stay home if you are sick. Guys, delivery services are available. For those of you who know people that have a small business like catering, creating food or creating baked dishes, and you want to take some to someone, make that be a part of your give back. You're supporting a business, you're making sure somebody gets something to eat, and you feel good all up inside yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's a great thing that we could do for one another. Give me 1 second. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So let's see. What else we have? Cover your cough and sneeze in a tissue or your elbow. That is the main thing that I'm saying, that the droplets get out and you have no way of knowing how much and how fast it infects somebody, okay? Wear a mask. The CDC says if you're wearing a mask, that means you're sick. But I say wear a mask, wear gloves, whatever it is to make you feel good and comfortable about, if you have to be out and amongst people. We know that there is not enough testing kits that are available. And part of the reason is because, of course, the federal government, it was not prepared for this. And there's many reasons why, and we'll talk about that soon. But also because they really want people who need it, who have serious upper respiratory issues. Yeah. If you are elder, if you have come in from another country that's on those lists, right? They really want people who are sick to have those tests first. And I know for those of you who want to have the test available for you, if you're not sick, if you're not feeling sick, just stay home the quarantine days. The 14 days, only go out as needed. All right. And I want to large up the hospitals and the healthcare workers, all the CNAs, the EMTs, the LPNs, the RNs, the doctors, the home health aides, the drivers, so big them up, keep them in your prayers. And, Bones, mentally, this thing is affecting people. You know what I'm saying? And tonight we are going to focus on mental wellness in the community. And we will hear the voice of Crystal Williams, who is a licensed graduate professional counselor with Onyx Therapy Group. Yes, we are going to talk about what's happening in our minds and get some coping skills and definitely some good music from DJ Firebone 592 Sound. So are y'all ready? Let's get it. Got it good? We straight flexing on you. Let's go. It's on Ablazin Radio where entertainment lives.
Y'all trying to do 24 karat magic in the air, head to toe so clear. Look out. Second verse for the hustlers, gangsters, bad bitches and your ugly old friends. I cannot preach, I cannot preach. I gotta show them how I can get it in. First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited and I'm so glad that you guys are here with us on this Wednesday night. It is Community Voices with your girl, Momo Love, alongside DJ Firebone 592 Sound over there grooving out for the community. Now, as I tell you guys all the time, make sure you download the free, and did I say free, Ablazin Radio Pro app? It is for you and me and iPhone and Android, so we can all come together during this time. We're going to have us a COVID-19 release night tonight. You know what I mean? Because we know that mental health really does not discriminate. However, melanated Americans sometimes experience more severe forms due to our experiences in this here thing we call life, okay? Here to help us unpack that a little more is Crystal Williams, licensed graduate professional counselor. Welcome. How are you, dear?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so wonderful that you decided to come out, agreed to come out during this time and talk to us a lot more about mental health, mental wellness. What's the proper term now?
You can say either one, mental health or mental wellness.
Okay. Mental health tonight, because I think one thing that's very sure is that about maybe 10% of African Americans, Black, melanated people are more likely to experience serious psychological distress as it relates to mental health due to a lot of socioeconomic disparities, that is health, education, and definitely a lot of resources that we may lack. What exactly is a mental health condition?
So mental health conditions either affect people cognitively, emotionally, or behaviorally. And so from a cognitive aspect, we talk about our thought processes. And so when a person's thoughts do not directly align with the inner peace that they would like to have, then that often causes mental health issues. When people do not feel comfortable mentally, when they feel stressed, when they feel depressed, when they feel anxious, a lot of times those are symptoms of mental health issues.
Yeah. Well, we've really progressed with a better understanding, if you will, that mental health conditions are real, right? But what about recognizing symptoms? Because, a lot of times we are very loose with she crazy or he bipolar, or, back in the day, we used to just straight out call people retarded, right? So even though we've gotten better through awareness, how are we, what should we look for? I mean, because, mental illness doesn't look like you. It doesn't look like me. So what is it that, if I feel like I'm suffering from something, what does it look like when I look in the mirror?
Well, you won't see it in the mirror. It's what you feel like on the inside.
Okay.
And so if you feel inner turmoil within yourself, then there might be an issue. If you wake up daily and you feel extreme stress or depressed or anxiety, and it affects you at work, at home, or
nonstop
in school, as far as schoolwork is concerned, then that will tell you that, maybe I need to get some help. So sometimes we can't see it, but then there are times when we do see it, and the times when we do see it are times when we're not taking care of ourselves physically. So if you're having a hard time getting out of bed, if you're having a hard time eating, if you're having a hard time sleeping, those are things you will end up seeing on the external side of you. So if you're losing weight, or if you notice that you have a lot of bags under your eyes because you're just not getting enough sleep. If you feel or you realize that you're angrier than normal, or you're sadder than normal, or you just can't stop crying, those are times when, you have to realize, hey, something is just not right.
And, as an adult, it's so difficult to even self-diagnose, which of course we shouldn't, but we should be aware, we should recognize, right? When we're talking about our kids, because we, again, throw off so many things. Oh, they're just upset because they can't have something, or they're upset because they can't go somewhere, or they're just acting out. When should we as parents really focus in on, this is just not bad behavior, something might really be wrong with my baby?
Yeah, so oftentimes when you notice that your children are having problems in school, when you're constantly getting contacted by the teachers or the principal, there's something wrong. When you're having a hard time controlling your child at home, there's something wrong. If you notice that your child is withdrawn, not wanting to be around people, staying in his or her room often, there's something wrong. If your child seems sad often or angry often, there's something wrong. So generally we have to rely on our instincts. We know our kids. And so we know deep down inside when something just does not feel right. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, let me just check just to see if everything is okay.
See, and that's the thing, I think we sometimes don't know who to tell or don't know where to turn to. Even with our physicians, our physicians are supposed to be the most trusted people that we can go to. And a lot of times we find ourselves not telling our physicians the truth about what's going on when they are eventually going to find out, whether it's through blood work or, fluid or whatever the case may be. But if we're thinking these things, who should we turn to?
If you don't feel comfortable turning to a physician, you can definitely reach out to a psychologist. So you can go on Psychology Today. You can go on Onyx Therapy Group.
All right.
And so, by reaching out to these people, tell a loved one, tell a friend. Somebody knows someone.
Yeah.
And so, just by talking about it, you never know who someone knows. and maybe that person can introduce you to the person who you can speak with.
Yeah, and again, like I said, if you are just joining Community Voices with Momo Love alongside DJ Firebone, we are speaking with Crystal Williams. She is a licensed graduate professional counselor with Onyx Therapy Group. I hope y'all did hear the plug there. We will talk more about that very quickly. We are talking about mental health in the melanated African American community. We talk to a lot of Caribbean people. And just through different topics, I'll always hear people say, well, if you grew up in a Caribbean family, this, and if you grew up in a Caribbean family, that, and it really doesn't sound that far off from just a Black family. You know what I mean? So I speak to all of us when I say, parents or children sometimes don't understand what they're feeling. And sometimes don't want to go to their parents because they're kind of shushed off. Oh, you're mad. Nothing's wrong with you. Oh, you just want to act crazy. What do you tell parents in order to understand these signs that you got to stop and focus? Because, instinct, yes. Visual, yes. But sometimes we're moving so much.
Yeah, so those are actually stigmas in the Black community.
Yeah.
The stigmas are that, nothing is wrong with that child, or that, like you said, that child is just angry, or that child just got in trouble, or is having some type of a behavioral problem. So, what I would tell that parent is why, or actually I would ask that parent, why? Why is that child angry? Why is that child crying all the time? Why is that child lonely? See, children don't understand how to manage their behaviors at an early age. And so as parents, we have to teach them.
Yeah.
But if we don't know, then who do we go to?
Yeah.
So, again, that's what we as mental health professionals are here for. We're here to teach parents how to work with their children. We're here to teach the children how to regulate their emotions.
Yeah. Do we still have guidance counselors in the school?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
And they're licensed professionals?
They're school counselors, licensed professionals,
okay.
Yes.
Now, and I worry sometimes because, our little boys are jumping around and, being curious and acting up in class, and they could be bored, but they're sent down to the principal's office. They sent to the guidance counselor, and these little notes go in files that say, oh, he's too hyperactive or she's too hyperactive, and they're recommending that they put my child on Ritalin or whatever the other drugs are. How do we as parents stand up and say,
Well, see, first of all,
can we?
We can, because those are our children, and we're our children's advocates.
Yes.
So if a teacher or a guidance counselor or a principal is saying, okay, your child is just too hyperactive, something, we can't control his or her behavior, don't ignore it. Take your child to see a licensed professional who can test your child. And because we're in the Black and brown community, you want to make sure that licensed professional is culturally competent.
Yes.
Meaning we want to make sure that licensed professional knows how to work with our children.
Yeah.
Understands the difference between active behavior or curious behavior as opposed to ADHD.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing. And the only way you will basically know is by asking questions.
Yeah.
Again, we're our children's advocates. Ask questions.
Yeah. So when we talk about bipolarism, schizophrenia, these various mental health conditions, we should be diagnosed by whom?
By a licensed professional counselor or a psychologist, someone who is licensed in the field and qualified to provide that assessment.
But you can start off with your physician, if you have one, to tell them about these thoughts and feelings so they can recommend, or how does that work?
You can let your physician know that you're having, some mental issues, or that you're experiencing some changes that just don't seem right. You're hearing voices, You're seeing things. You're feeling one way one minute, another way another minute. You're not getting enough sleep. So you can tell your physician these things. And oftentimes when we see our doctors, they do question us.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they'll ask, are you feeling depressed?
Yeah.
Are you getting abused at home?
Yeah.
You know, they'll ask you these questions, and they're asking you these questions to determine whether or not they should recommend that you see someone professional.
Yeah.
So that is your first line of communication is, you know, talking to that person. But like you said, if you don't feel comfortable doing so, then you can reach out and speak with someone.
Yeah. And I think it's very important that we be honest with ourselves. You know, one thing is it's one thing to be stressed out about work, one thing to be stressed out about your relationships or your home or, you know, those things. But like you say, if you're feeling anxious and not just for a moment, but consistently, consecutively, and it just won't go away no matter what you may try. I mean, because we know where we can go to find, like I said, we're getting a lot more aware and adept of what mental health is. And is this, or can some of these things be hereditary? Is it in our DNA?
So there are definitely some mental health issues that are hereditary, and those might be something like depression or bipolar disorder. But then there might be some mental health disorders that are brought on by environmental stressors. So stress can cause a mental health illness.
Yeah.
And stress is something that, you know, we may oftentimes see clients about because they don't know how to manage it, and they want to get ahead of it before it manifests into something worse.
But you know, Crystal, we have been dealing with the stress of being an African American people, a melanated people, a Caribbean people. We have been dealing with that for years wherever we come from. Even if we come from a suburban area, we grew up with both of our parents. We lived in a well-to-do area, or, you know, whatever the case may be. As a Black people on a whole, we've all experienced some kind of stress.
Yes.
Right? Some kind of trauma that may bring on these mental health issues. Is trauma not primary, because you just said DNA, but it's trauma another way mental health issues can come about?
So there's racial trauma, and racial trauma is oftentimes the result of the trauma that we experience as Black and brown people, the oppression, the socioeconomic issues that we experience, the socio-political issues that we experience, the oppression that we experience. Oftentimes those issues can traumatize us, and there's something called racial battle fatigue.
Wow.
And so racial battle fatigue are the symptoms that we feel and the fight that we constantly feel because we're fighting for our rights.
Yeah.
We're fighting for social justice and inequality and equality.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely something that we, and speaking for myself as well, see clients for oftentimes because they don't know how to handle the stress and the pressures and the overwhelmingness that they're feeling.
And talking about an overwhelmingness, because you're in the boardroom, you're in the job, you're driving while Black, you're pulled over. You see all of these videos, all of these things that have happened just increasingly over the years to make America great again, right?
That's right.
And so I've never heard the term, but I can definitely understand. You know, we know about the quote unquote normal mental health issues, you know, the anxiety, the depression, rape, trauma. You know, trauma comes in so many forms. Divorce,
Yes.
you know, breakups of relationships, loss. And if we don't properly mourn, talk about these things, it brings on some of these mental health conditions.
It definitely does. There are times when people suffer from PTSD as a result of broken relationships.
Yeah. That's a real thing. I believe it.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to talk to someone about these things, and not just talk to your girlfriend or your homie down the street, but speak with someone who you can trust, someone who cannot share this information with anyone else.
Yeah.
Someone who's not going to judge you.
Ooh,
You know,
that's difficult, right?
And so it is. It's very difficult because you know that your girlfriend is going to have something to say.
Yeah.
You know that your male friend is going to have something to say. But when you speak with a professional counselor, they do not judge.
Yeah.
And what you share with them is strictly confidential.
And I love that. I'm glad about that. If you are just joining Community Voices with Momo Love alongside DJ Firebone, we are speaking with Crystal Williams. She is a licensed graduate professional counselor with Onyx Therapy Group. Give us a little bit about your background, Crystal. How did you get into being a counselor? Where did this passion come from?
Well, I got tired of seeing the effects of the trauma that our people were experiencing. And so I started out undergrad in psychology, and I eventually, as I got further along, I decided to go into mental health counseling because I live in a community that's primarily black.
Right.
And I see the struggles that my people go through.
Yeah.
I know the struggles I went through.
Yeah.
And what better way to help our people other than to be there to listen to them, to guide them, to support them, to show them a better way. And if we don't have people like me or people like other professionals out here who are helping our people out and trying to show them a better way, then who?
Yeah.
You know, if we have angry black people out here doing things that are illegal and getting themselves in trouble, how do they get the help that they need?
Yeah.
Because, you know, institutionalizing them is not helping.
It doesn't work all the time at all, really.
It does not. And
Yeah.
so speaking with them and finding out, where does this anger come from?
The root of the problem.
Where does this hurt
Yeah.
come from? That often helps.
And you are with Onyx Therapy Group. Tell me about this group. I love this group. We had tell the community, we had Dr. Linnell Plummer on last year, and she provided a great forum on mental health and wellness as well. But tell the community about Onyx Therapy Group because, I love the facts of this group.
So it's been an honor and a privilege to be working with Onyx Therapy Group. I've been with them since January.
Awesome.
And I've done nothing but learn and grow as a professional.
Yeah.
So Dr. Plummer, as you're well aware, she is a veteran.
Yes.
She's also a black woman.
Yes.
She's also an educator. She's a professor at Johns Hopkins University. And she really leads us and guides us, and she expects the most out of us. She expects us to get the most out of our experience.
Beautiful.
And so she pushes us. She challenges us. And so that's what I like the most about working for her.
Yeah.
She's a black woman who is looking out for other black women.
Yes.
How often do we see that?
Not too often. The whole group of Onyx
the whole
is
group of us, black women.
hence Onyx.
That's
Group.
right.
I love it. I
That
love
is
it. I love it. I
right.
love
And
it.
so it is amazing. I mean, we all
Yes.
encourage each other. We all support each
Beautiful.
other. Before I came here, I received so many messages of love and support
wonderful.
and guidance.
Wonderful.
And so it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
Well, big up the entire Onyx Therapy Group. We appreciate you guys. And I think, Dr. Plummer, I'll be calling you because we're going to just, make this thing a recurring thing with the whole group, because I think you're right, Crystal. More of us need to be able to speak to like-minded individuals about things that are going on in our lives. We can't always talk to our friends because there is the bias, there is the judgment of wanting the best for you, but not providing the best information or guidance for you. I wanted to know about treatments, a little more about treatments. We talked a little bit about children maybe being diagnosed and put on medicine. How do you figure out the best approach for treatment, whether it's the holistic approach or a medicated drug? Because let's face it, some people may need a treatment in a drug therapy form, or what?
So treatment is typically decided on while working with the client. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you integrate your client's beliefs into the treatment. You don't just create a treatment and you not integrate your client's beliefs and values and maybe, worldviews into the treatment. We also base it on the issues that client is experiencing.
Yeah.
So if that client is experiencing maybe faulty thought processes, or they're hearing things, or they're seeing things, we base treatment based off of whatever issues are challenging them the most.
I love it. You were also talking about the church, church and faith, spirituality, and talking about getting plans together, treatment plans together. I know that people some people want to go a more holistic approach. How do you integrate that into the plan? Because, or how do you, okay, here's my question, because I'm trying to form it and read it at the same time, right? How do you integrate if a person wants a holistic approach, but they really do need medicine?
Well, that's something that you speak to the client about.
Okay.
You're not going to force the client to do anything that they're not comfortable with doing. And so you let the client know what the benefits are to taking the medication and how the medication can help that person.
Yeah.
And if that person is not open to it, you can't force it on them.
Gotcha.
Counseling, for the most part, is voluntary. There are times when it's mandated, but for the most part, it's voluntary.
And you talked about, how do I find if you're the right person for me? Do I have the right to ask you, where'd you get your degree? Do I have the right to ask these questions?
By all means, yes. Ask questions. This is your mental health.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that you're getting the services that will help you, that will benefit you, and that will help you to reach mental wellness. So, you can ask questions like, where did you get your degree? Have you, if that person is a non-African American or non-Black counselor, ask that counselor, have you worked with Black people before?
Yeah.
What types of treatments will you use with me?
Yeah.
Ask questions, because this is your mental health. And mental health is a very serious thing, because it also affects us physically as well.
In so many ways. And I've always heard when people say when they exercise, they, so many endorphins open up, they get so much release, so much stress is lifted off, they can function and flow a lot better. So exercise is integrated into the treatment plans, I'm assuming, if needed.
Yes, but you also, again, you want to make sure that that's something that the client is open and willing to do.
Yeah.
But it is suggested, because like you said, it does release endorphins into the bloodstream and it minimizes stress.
And that I understand. Guys, if you are just joining Community Voices with Momo Love alongside DJ Firebone, we are speaking with Crystal Williams. She is a licensed graduate professional counselor with Onyx Therapy Group, right?
That's
Onyx
right.
Therapy Group. I don't want to say it wrong. Under the leadership of Dr. Linnell Plummer. What's your guys' website? Do you know it offhand?
www.onyxtherapygroup.com.
Yeah, I love it. What's the difference between counselors, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, psychoanalysts? It kind of feels like, well, I'm having these problems. Where do I go?
That's a very great question. So the difference between counselors and therapists, as opposed, a counselor and a therapist is someone who will give treatments, who will work on a treatment plan, who will help the client to establish goals and establish a means to fulfill those goals.
Okay.
They're the people who will speak with you and who will help you work through your problems,
Okay.
right? So the psychologists, some psychologists will prescribe treatment. Some will not. The psychiatrists actually do prescribe medication.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense, and it gives a clearer path to selecting someone that best fits your needs, as well as if they're African American or whatever your race is, that fits you best.
Yes.
And never be afraid to ask these questions, right?
And never be afraid to ask how that person can help you.
Okay, I see.
So, if I'm coming here for this issue, how can you help me? What can you do to help me?
Oh, yeah, put it on them. Like, what
That's
you got
right.
that degree? But that sounds like a very legitimate question, right? How do we talk to our friends about our friends and our family when we're going through and we're suffering through these things? Not to make them believe us, but so that they understand that something's going on and I need your help or your support.
Exactly what you just said. That's the best way to do it. Let your family know, listen, I need help. I need support. I need you to realize that I don't feel well.
Yeah.
I don't feel well. And it's hard for me to cope. It's hard for me to think straight. It's hard for me to focus. It's hard for me to do the things that I typically do on a daily basis.
Yeah. We got the COVID-19 going on here all across America, China, Italy. The whole world, it seems like. It is a large family of viruses that cause illness, right? The corona virus, right? Not COVID-19, but the coronavirus is a large family of viruses. And some cause illnesses in animals and some cause illnesses in people. And it's very rare that you get an animal coronavirus that kind of integrates into people. But that's what the authorities believe is happening or has occurred with COVID-19. Now, SARS, if you remember, is the only other coronavirus that originated from animals and spread to people. That's why, we see coronavirus on the back of the Lysol and the Clorox, because the viruses have been here for a while. They're just different viruses, right? So COVID-19, as we know, has been spreading very easily and it has been spreading very rapidly. They really do not know how it spread. Their thought is through transmission of the spittle and coughing and things of that nature that kind of, transmits person to person. And definitely people who have compromised immune systems or respiratory illnesses, will get infected a lot faster. So your symptoms, of course, are going to be a lot more elevated than just a cold, a lot more elevated than just a flu. And they can germinate 2 to 14 days. You'll have a fever, you'll have coughing, you'll have shortness of breath. But the major warning signs for COVID is the major trouble in breathing, persistent pain in your chest, and they're also saying kind of like bluish lips and or face, as well as feeling very lethargic. If you are having symptoms, you definitely, as we all have been self-quarantining for about a week now, but if they heighten, you definitely need to call your physician, and if you don't have one, present to your local hospital with your personal protective equipment on, meaning your gloves, your mask, whatever it is that you can do. Of course, C-SPAN, NPR, CDC, everyone has been saying that supplies are very limited. So this is why they don't want everyone to bombard the hospital. We want our tests. I get it. But they are working very diligently to get more tests and to provide for the ones that really need to be tested, our elders, those with upper respiratory issues, low immune, they should be given priority. Did I big up all of my healthcare workers, my LPNs, my CNs, my CNAs, my doctors, my nurses, my drivers, my home health aides? Big up home health aides who are still in the trenches, those of you who have to stay with the elderly and the sick and shut in. We so salute you and so appreciate you. But I wanted to talk to you, Crystal. Crystal Williams is here. Again, she is a licensed graduate professional counselor. We've been quarantined, girl. We've been stuck, girl. What else going on? Look, I done scrabbled and monopolied and we done sipped and painted. What us gonna do now? It's only been 1 week, Krista. What we gonna do?
And we don't know how much further we're gonna go.
And we don't know how much further.
But you know what? We've survived an awful lot.
Yeah.
If we look at all the things we've survived,
come on now, don't make no church up in here.
As a culture, we can survive.
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
we
yeah,
can.
yeah. I think so too. But you know, there are a lot of extroverts who are now having to become introverts. There are a lot of people who really just don't like closed-in spaces. They could have 7-bedroom homes or 7 rooms in their house, and you know, it's still just too much for them. What can we do? What kind of coping skills can we conjure up?
There are various coping skills that can be used. First and foremost, the most important thing is to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Take care of your health. Make sure you're eating healthy foods. Make sure you're exercising. We're allowed to go outside.
Hello.
We just need to kind of maintain a social distance.
Yes.
We're allowed to be social. We just have to maintain some type of a distance.
Yes.
So if you're tired of being cooped up in the house, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Get out your house and walk.
Yeah.
You can also get on the phone and call a friend.
How about that?
We have FaceTime.
We used to talk on the phone back in the day,
That's
Crystal.
Right. That's right. So you don't have to just text. You can pick up the phone.
If you have an
dial
iPhone,
a
you can
friend.
FaceTime.
There you go.
Know?
There are so many different things. Technology is awesome nowadays, so you can do that. Also engage in fun activities.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Monopoly.
Yeah.
Like, children these days don't know what Monopoly is.
Listen, we've been
they?
getting our board games
Do
on,
they?
okay?
So now we can show them how fun
Yes.
life was when we were children and we couldn't go outside.
We've been creating games. Okay, we had a word search find. Whoever can find a word search first. Okay, we grown people, so we're not gonna say what the winner or the loser got. But yeah, we've been trying to just. And not all day, every day, but to break up the day.
That's right.
You know, you do a little reading, you do a little research, you do your arts and crafts, you do your vision board. You know, you got to break up the day and find different things to do.
So you don't get bored.
Right.
Yeah, and we can do that.
Now, what about those that normally don't stay home with their children?
Oh.
And they're losing it right now.
They're definitely definitely losing it.
Yeah.
For those for those parents, I've definitely seen a lot of Facebook messages where parents are like, "Help!" And you'll see like a glass of wine or something
right in the back,
beside them.
Please help.
That's right. Just try to be patient though, because when children see that we're stressed, then they become stressed.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to show them that things are okay and that we can get through this and that they're safe. And so as long as they see that we're reacting in a calm manner, then they will as well. If they see us in distress, then they will in turn become distressed because they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to do that to our children.
Yeah. You know what else is? I just thought about it as you were speaking. I always have all these great ideas. Somebody already probably done doing it though. I'm understanding. I don't have any little ones that are in school, but I'm understanding that the children in Prince George's County, probably all around the world where the schools are closed, and if I'm not mistaken, Prince George's County schools are going to be closed to the 21st or the 24th.
I think it's April 24th.
24th, okay. And there was a packet that was sent home. And I'm understanding that parents are really freaking out because, I mean, it's been 20 plus years for some of us who haven't been to school. So, while we are celebrating these DJs that are coming on Instagram, Big Up Yourself D Nice. He is having a voter registration that you guys can log on to after Community Voices, please do so, because he's having a voter registration where you can log on and register to vote and all that stuff. Him and Michelle Obama. What a great thing. But I think parents that are struggling, you guys should have a help me out night. I don't know what to call it, but listen, they have Zoom, they have Duo, they have Skype. You parents that might have kids that are in the same grades or attend the same school or whatever the case may be, why don't y'all have a night where y'all go over this homework and help your kids?
And you know what also? Teachers are on social media.
Yes.
Reach out to a teacher on social media and say, hey,
hello,
I need this help. Can you show me
nice.
how to do this assignment or what to do?
Bing, 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 tutors. Y'all need to get on Instagram and help some of these kids out. Listen, if Erykah Badu, if you can pay $1 to hear Erykah Badu sing her songs, you can pay $1 to a tutor for your child for math. Hello. I got me a new skill right now. I'm getting ready to get me a flyer up, okay? And I'm gonna figure out what my subject is gonna be. We are speaking with Crystal Williams of Onyx Therapy Group. She is a licensed graduate professional counselor, and we are so excited that she has been here. She has broke it down to us community about mental health, what it is, what we need to look for, and let's get more help. Let's get more help. Is there anything else that you really need to get out to the community?
Not that I can think of. Let's survive this thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's survive it.
Yes, ma'am. And again, where can they reach you, Crystal Williams at Onyx Therapy Group?
So it's www.onyxtherapygroup.com. Or you can call 202-400-7524.
All right, and we'll definitely have that information and put it up on the Community Voices Facebook page, as well as Momo Love 1229 and DJ Firebone 592 Sound, always in the building. Big up all of the Facebook watchers, all of the listeners on Ablazin Radio Live. You can download the free Ablazin Radio Pro app. It is for iPhone and Android users. Hey, y'all, I got my census information. Boo, 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 boo. Boop, 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 boop. And when we come back from the musical mix, I'm going to tell y'all why I'm so excited, okay? I hope y'all are excited. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm so excited about I got my census form. Boop, 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 boop. So I'll be back about 8:45 or so, and we're going to talk about why I'm so excited about the census form. Miss Crystal Williams, Onyx Therapy Group, thank you so much again for coming to Community Voices and just dropping those jewels, ma'am. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna get down with 592 Sound. Oh, I'm a poet and I always know it. It's Community Voices right here on the Ablazin Radio. You know it is where entertainment lives.
Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my best.
All right. Thank you so much, DJ Firebone 592 Sound, on the wheels of steel right here on Community Voices with Momo Love on Ablazin Radio each and every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Big up yourself, Nicole Caraballo. Thank you, Delano. Hey, Q. I appreciate you, Jugglements, and Mixmaster G himself, Ardania Williams, and everybody who tuned in on the Facebook Live, on the app, which I know that you have downloaded, Ablazin Radio Pro app, that is. It is for iPhone and Android users. Remember, I told you guys I was so excited because I got my census form. You guys should be excited too. This is the way that we shape our future. Y'all, I got all kinds of notes on here because I wanted to make sure I had the information for you guys. But you may have gotten one form that was in a large envelope, and you may have gotten one in a regular size envelope. Either way, it has the same information on it. All right. It tells you that it is your information to respond to the 2020 census, and they need your help to count everyone in the United States by providing basic information about all adults, children, and babies living or staying at your address. You guys, this is so important. I'm going to tell you why it's so important. We are in the middle of COVID-19. We are complaining about a lack of beds. We're complaining about a lack of equipment, personal protective equipment. We're complaining about a lack of schools being open, schools being available, internet, computers, masks, gloves, everything that's happening with this COVID-19. And I really need you to understand that the census is a part of making that better. Now, if you have not been paying attention, we really almost kind of have like a outbreak every 2 to 4 years. Ebola, SARS, these things keep coming and coming. And if you notice, if you go back for all my historians, there never seems to be enough of something. So the census is a way that we can complete, that we can stand up and be counted, each and every single person in our house. And let me break it down like this. All right. So for the babies that were born in 2020, right? Yes, Social Security knows that they're here. They're going to get a Social Security card. The birth people, vital statistics know that they're here. They'll get a birth certificate. But they will not be counted for when it's time to go to school, right? Well, they'll know that they're there, but there won't be enough equipment. There may not be enough schools. And then they're going to high school. You move to a town that has one high school because that baby wasn't accounted for. Roads. This helps with health care, making sure we have adequate hospitals. And the major thing is that it helps in representation for Congress. Because the more people there are in one area, they have to get more representation. All right, I'm not going to give us no civics history. I'm not qualified for it. But what I will say, if you have received this census form, it has your own personal census ID on it. And as Julius Mena told us when he was here, no IRS, CIS, CBA, CIA, none of the numbers, none of the alphabets will get this information. So there is no fear in filling it out. It asks for your name. It asks for who lives with you. It asks for who will live with you effective April 1st, 2020. There is nothing more evasive than when you download an app on your phone. So you can definitely fill out the census. I'm so excited, and I hope that you are excited as well. You're protected by the Constitution, guys. So please make sure you fill it out. If you don't fill it out, they'll send you another one. If you don't fill it out, they'll put it on. They'll give you a paper one. And if you don't fill it out, guess who'll be knocking at your door? The numerators. You don't want the numerators to come. As well as the Census Bureau is hiring people. Go on my2020census.gov. They are hiring for numerators. They're hiring for IT. They're hiring for customer service, starting $17 an hour, going on up to $25. All right. So please fill it out. My2020census.gov. If you don't have a census ID number, call the Census Bureau at 844-330-2020. 844-330-2020. And don't act like you can't find it. Y'all can Google everything else. This is important for the future. Shape your future. Bones, one last public service announcement, if you don't mind. The top 5. Make sure y'all wash your hands, okay? We are hoping that this quarantine does not last a long time. But what we know is that it has to happen in order for all of us to be as safe as we possibly can. Wash your hands as often as you possibly can. Yes, you can sanitize, but wash your hands. 20 seconds, 40 seconds. Sing the happy birthday song. Hot water and a lather, sudsy soap. Make sure you cover your nose or mouth while coughing or sneeze into a toilet tissue, napkin, paper towel, and throw it away. Wash your hands, sanitize if you can't wash, and wash as soon as you possibly can. You guys saw that we practiced social distancing tonight. 3 to 6 feet. Some places are recommending 8, some are recommending 10. The bottom line is that when you talk, sometimes spittle comes out. So we just want to be in enough zone, enough space.
Say it, don't spray it.
I know, right? We want to be in enough space where that doesn't happen, all right? And try not to touch your face or your mouth or your nose. I have a horrible habit with it. And this is not really teaching me to not do it, but I'm trying. And if you're sick, stay home, period. If you are comfortable wearing gloves, if you are comfortable wearing masks, if you are comfortable, be comfortable. Okay, that is all I can say. Be comfortable. And they can't find the what is the fit? The N95 fit masks. You would have to really be in healthcare to get that unless you can. I don't know if you can just go to the store and buy those types of masks, right? But for those of you who want to be fashionable, follow my girl Rhonda Allen at So Cool. She has all of the cutest little masks that you can put over your mouth and nose at So Cool. That's SEWSEWKOOL. Go ahead and follow her. Make sure you follow Onyx Therapy Group. We want to thank again Miss Crystal Williams, a licensed graduate professional counselor. She was here providing and dropping those jewels on mental health awareness, and ways that we can cope during this quarantine. All right. Make sure you follow DJ Firebone where?
FIYABONE 592. And Wexler Booker.
On Instagram and Facebook.
Caca.
And definitely follow your girl Momo Love at Momo Love 1229, as well as Community Voices Facebook and YouTube page. Big up our 59 subscribers. We appreciate you. You can definitely go over there, like, subscribe, and share. I have one more bit of news to talk to you guys about, the stimulus deal, but I'm gonna let DJ Firebone do a little bit more music, and then we'll come back and just very quickly talk about the stimulus deal, the stimulus plan. Y'all want y'all $1,200, but you got to do some things to get it, all right?
That you really say, man.